everybody? This is the one and only Pop Culture Junkie here again with another awesome Let's Play request video. We're checking out Kevin Nash versus Kevin Owens. This was a request sent in by Samantha, so thank you very much, Samantha. Hope you enjoy your video and commentary from yours truly, the Pop Culture Junkie. Let's go! Alright, so here we are at NXT TakeOver, apparently, and it is Big Sexy Kevin Nash versus Kevin Owens. Alright, and this again was a video request sent in by Samantha, who wanted to see Kevin Nash versus Kevin Owens. Now, Kevin Nash, I can say I've had the pleasure of meeting him. I've never met Kevin Owens. I have seen him in person. I've seen him at, saw him recently at the Royal Rumble in his match against Roman Reigns, which was a very good match. Kevin Owens is insanely talented. That's the best way to sum it up. The guy can talk, the guy can wrestle, he's got really good ring presence, and knows how to work the mic, work the crowd. He's a smartass, but he's very intelligent when it comes to ring psychology. He's somebody I see going very far in the wrestling business. He's been wrestling for years, okay? A lot of people know him as Kevin Steen, of course. He's wrestled for other companies and such. Nash, of course, has had a long history. He started off, of course, you know, most people remember, if you are a long-time wrestling fan like myself, most people will remember he was working out in WCW as like the Great Oz, and he had a lot of really bad gimmicks. They just didn't have a clue. I mean, WCW was famous for this. You know, they had a big run of not knowing what to do with a lot of talent. You know, they would give new talent all kinds of really weird gimmicks, and he was given all these strange gimmicks. And at the time, a future Hall of Famer named Shawn Michaels was wrestling in WWF and had just begun his singles run, and noticed Kevin Nash watching, you know, WCW, and got the idea, saying, "Hey, I need someone like this. I need a bodyguard. I need a bodyguard for my gimmick to get over more." And they ended up making a deal, and Kevin Nash came to work for WWF. And of course, you know, history was changed forever, because that is what created the birth of the Clique, and that, you know, that partnership between Kevin Nash and Shawn Michaels, that added to the partnership of Scott Hall, later on Triple H, Sean Waltman, Just Incredible as well. So, you know, the Clique became what they became, and then later on, of course, Hall and Nash left WWF in '96 and went to WCW to start up this little faction called the NWO, if you'd ever heard of that. But yeah, this was, you know, this was somebody who was handed a very bad gimmick, and you know, they really went far with his character in WWF to later on be you know, Kevin Nash himself in WCW. Now, of course, Kevin Nash, whenever he was in WWF, was given the gimmick of Diesel, and he was, you know, Shawn's bodyguard at first, and had a weird like buzz cut. He looked kind of like a giant, tall Terminator looking kind of guy with the black gloves and the leather jacket and such. But then he started doing a string of matches with Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon, and they fought over the Intercontinental title. That's you know, that's really hard to believe that two giants like that were fighting over the Intercontinental title. You would expect them to be fighting over the world title, and yeah, it was the Intercontinental title. But that's how awesome the Intercontinental title used to be, and why the Intercontinental title is still one of my favorite belts, is my favorite title belt of all time, because it had such, you know, it's got such a lush history. It really does. But anyways, Kevin Nash, of course, you know, later on became tag champion with Shawn Michaels, also became world champion, had some great matches with Bret Hart, and of course Shawn Michaels. I still think one of my favorite matches was Bret Hart and Diesel at In Your House, and then also at the Royal Rumble. That was also great. But Kevin Nash has gone on to a bunch of different podcast and other interview and shoot videos and such. And he's shared a few stories about his match at WrestleMania 11, and that really stood out to me because he talked about how he was going into the match, defending the title against Shawn Michaels, who had just won the Royal Rumble that year, and he was sharing with how he was like, Shawn Michaels, is considered by many, okay, not by everyone, but considered by many, to be one of the greatest of all time as far as ring performer. People say Ric Flair is the greatest wrestler, Shawn Michaels is the greatest ring performer, entertainer, whatever you want to call it. And he was sharing a story about how when he was going into that match, he didn't know what to expect because they didn't script their matches, they didn't plan step by step everything. They didn't need to. There's a lot of wrestlers out there nowadays that don't need to, but unfortunately everything gets so heavily scripted it dilutes a lot of it. But anyways, I remember him telling the interviewer how he got in that ring, and if you watch WrestleMania 11, I had to rewatch it again, the match, to see what he was talking about. But yeah, that first 5 minutes of that match, Michaels is flying all over the ring like 1,000 miles an hour, and Nash just looks like $1 million, of course, because he's in there with Shawn Michaels. But I just remember him going like, "Hey, this is ridiculous! Slow down." Another funny story I want to share real quick about Nash, though, that I think is hilarious, and he shared this before on interviews, but it's one of my favorites. I'm going to share it. He's wrestling, I think, at a house show somewhere. This is early in his career. He had just started doing his singles run. I think away from away from being Shawn Michaels' bodyguard. And he's wrestling, I don't know who, but he said in the match he did a leapfrog. He Irish whipped his opponent into the ropes, and when they came back, he jumps over them, leapfrogging over them, and then did another move to them. He says after the match ended, he went to the back, and as soon as he stepped through the curtain, Undertaker is standing right there waiting for him, and tells him, "What do you think you're doing?" And Nash goes, "What do you mean? You are a 6'10" giant. You do not do leapfrogs." And he's just like, "Well, but I'm able to. Doesn't matter." And I just think that's hilarious, because there are guys out there that you've seen wrestlers that you would think, oh, there's no way that he could do this or this, but they can. There's just because you're 6'8", 300+ pounds, that doesn't mean you can't do a flying dropkick. That doesn't mean you can't do a moonsault. There's people of all sizes that can do all kinds of moves. Speaking of which, Kevin Owens is not a small guy by any means. I know a lot of people in the wrestling business, office people and whatnot, have said, "Oh, he doesn't look like the typical wrestler and whatnot." To me, he looks like a fighter, and that's how he promotes himself, and he's a fighter. I think he's got more than enough talent as far as his charisma, the way he can talk, that it doesn't matter how he looks. I got some interference. Oh, we got old school Triple H coming out here. And I just got power bombed. Okay, by Owens. I see Triple H is coming out to help his old buddy, I think. So that's nice. Kevin Owens didn't seem to be bothered by that. Let's see if I can get something going here. I've got a finisher. I haven't even... There we go. I will say, Kevin Nash has a very unique power bomb. Just how he lifts them up and just chunks them. I noticed this in WC. Oh, I'm going to go for a pin. Am I going to do it? 1, 2, 3. Hey, I won. Excellent. There we go. Your winner, Kevin Nash. All right. Okay. Crowd's blocking the replay. All right. Well, hope you enjoyed this video. Again, this was sent in by Samantha. So, Samantha, thank you very much for your request. Hope you enjoyed your commentary you got to hear along with this. Now, if anyone out there is watching and would like to be featured in a future video, all you got to do is leave me some comments below in the comment section. Make sure you put in what kind of match you want, what kind of people you want to have me use, and from there, hopefully you'll have your video sometime down the road. So thanks again for everyone out there watching, and until next time, This is the one only Pop Culture Junkie. I'm signing out.